Good morning and welcome to the IG Daily Market Update for Wednesday the 26th of January. Now it's as you were as UK equities head back towards the levels seen last week and another assault at the 6,000 level for the FTSE 100. We have been slightly above there today very briefly. We're just trading below there at the moment, 59.95. That's a gain of 75 points on the day. Now, after yesterday's dire GDP data, the Bank of England's meeting minutes announcement this morning at 9:30 has been keenly eyed by investors, scouring through to see whether there are any hints of possible future interest rate hikes. The market, after we've had a day to sleep on yesterday's bad GDP figures, seems to be taking them this with a little bit of pinch of salt. The Office for National Statistics has been known to first estimate of GDP not quite or anywhere near the final one. We tend to get 2 or 3 revisions of the GDP figures, and a lot of the financial press stating that they will expect to see this figure revised back towards the zero as the weather perhaps being overplayed in this first reading. Now, Mervyn King last night, he was fairly strong with his statement, saying that he was backing what the MPC had been doing by leaving rates on hold over the last months, but still seeing a weak economic outlook. And with the minutes being written before yesterday's GDP figures and the Eurozone bond auction, there are some hints there that they were thinking about interest rate hikes in the near future. The votes changed from 8-1 to 7-2 in favour of keeping interest rates on hold. Perhaps after last week with those inflation numbers, expecting an interest rate rise, yesterday's GDP figures cooled these fears, and perhaps today we're seeing more people lean back towards the interest rate rising scenario, perhaps not as early as February as some analysts are forecasting, but certainly in the near future and possibly by the summer. Now, the short sterling, the jump in short sterling yesterday corrected itself this morning somewhat, and also the fall in sterling against the dollar, as well as we've seen a bit of a rally in sterling off the back of the Bank of England minutes this morning. Sterling back up around 158.70 against the dollar, up around 80 points on the day. Now, individual equities, it's a deep blue sea of positive news for most of the blue chips this morning. British Gas or BG Group even are the ones who are benefiting the most. They're the biggest riser, up 4%. This is after Brazilian state-owned Petrobras have announced a big oil discovery off the coast of the Brazilian coast near Sao Paulo, and BG Group having an interest in this part of the oil basin as well. So it's very good news for them. Vodafone, another heavyweight, rising today, up 2% after French company Vivendi successfully completed the sale of NBC Universal to General Electric, paving the way for them to perhaps be purchasing the Vodafone's stake in SFR, another French telecoms company. Also, we see last night Verizon, who Vodafone has a partnership with in the US, announcing decent results and a read across for Vodafone there. Outside of the top 100, we're seeing Heritage Oil, a big faller on the day in the 250. They're down 16% as they've unfortunately found gas in Kurdistan and not the oil they were initially looking for. Analysts saying in the short term this seems bad. It's obviously not what they were expecting, but the gas itself is viable to drill, and they're expecting it to start production there in 2015. Now, US markets are looking to have another go at the 12,000 level for the Dow today. We're seeing the Dow futures pushing our market, calling the market up above there at the moment, just above 12,000, up around 25 from yesterday's close, with the S&P up 6 at 1297. Earnings in the US yesterday from Yahoo, but still earnings fairly mixed across the board. We've got a couple of other big hitters today, looking out for airplane companies, Boeing in the civil sector and General Dynamics in the military sector. But in general, a lot of the attention is going to be on the FOMC meeting at 7:15. We had Barack Obama even giving his State of the Union address last night, fairly bullish with his comments on what was needed and how the economy is going. The Fed expected to comment on the improving conditions in the US economy, and that meeting at 7:15. With some other data out at midday, we've got a whole host of mortgage data from the US and new home sales at 3 p.m.